Hi, my name's Lauren Troland, one of the counselors from the Career Services Office, and I wanted to provide today a few tips for those getting started on their job search, those who are in the middle of it but just maybe aren't sure how to tackle and approach it, but just a few basics to get you going. So as you're starting to think about your job search, one of the things I hear all the time from students that I work with is, I'm open for everything. I'm just looking for a full-time job in blank major. While it's great to be open-minded, and I will encourage that, especially given economic circumstances, you do want to go into the job search having a plan of attack. You want to know what are your top options of what you're looking for in positions and career options. Of course, it's good to have a plan B or plan C available, but have a primary focus to get the search started on. Based on your research, you can see if you need to enhance or maybe narrow in your focus, but you need to start with an idea for it to be effective. Otherwise, you'll spend hours upon hours just looking at job postings and never really getting to the networking with professionals that you need to do to be effective. Another big key is that people jump right into the search process and could have dozens of applications out, but start to lose track. While it does take a little bit of extra time, I would highly encourage you to set up a tracking strategy. My advice would be to set up an Excel spreadsheet where maybe you have a tab with all the applications you've submitted with dates. That way, periodically, you can go by and see what's still open, what places maybe should have heard back from, and so on. Keep a tab also on what are the companies that you're focusing in on. An important part of the search process is not just digging through postings, but identifying the top employers that you know are hiring and have roles that you want to work in. So keeping a list of those top employers. And then a tab maybe with your networking contacts. So those alumni and employers that you've been introduced to or that you find on LinkedIn that you want to set up an informational interview with to help get your foot in the door at the company. Something to keep track, and that way if you get a referral from somebody, you can make a note of that with the date to, again, make sure you don't let time go too far by on that. Because with the referral, you always want to follow up within 3 to 5 business days on that. It's also obviously important to have a professional presence and approach throughout the search process. So make sure everything from the professionalism in your emails, everything spell and grammar check, a professional voicemail message, appropriate interview attire, all these things should be buttoned up to make sure that they're seeing you not as a college student, but as a new professional ready to work in their organization. Other part is to be aware of the length of the time frame to search. So you don't say that, I'm going to graduate next week and I'll start searching then. That's fine if you want there to be a gap between school and when you want to work. We always recommend starting a semester in advance. So if you're graduating in May, you should definitely be starting the search process in January at the beginning of the spring semester, because the typical job search can take up to 6 months or more, depending on your field, the availability of positions, and economic circumstances. So we do encourage you to plan ahead. Other pieces you should always be doing is, as I was talking about the economic trends, is know what's going on. Know what's happening in companies, organizations, government entities, the employment trends in the area, and using that to dictate where you're looking. If you know your target companies just aren't hiring, then you're going to have to look at what are some backup options. What are some short-term plans until your area focus do have positions available? You will be using job search engines. So we highly encourage you to use Handshake, which is BSU's career development platform that you can see jobs and internships off of as a great place to start, because those are top organizations, all the Fortune 500 companies, and they're all targeting college students and recent grads. But also using the job search engine on LinkedIn, Indeed, SchoolSpring, and a variety of other sources that you can use. But use that to find and identify those target companies and who's hiring, so that then again, you can do the next step of networking. Create a LinkedIn profile if you don't already have it. Use the BSU alumni page to identify alumni that are working for companies that you want to target. That's one of the best ways to get their foot in the door and is crucial in any job market, but especially in a tight and difficult job market. That's where those foots in the door opportunities through informational interviews are important. If you have questions with that, you can obviously talk with a career counselor more in depth about it. And as I mentioned, consider all opportunities. While you want to have a focus, be open to different areas, have backup plans that you may need to use in the short term. And while you're job hunting, do things to improve your likelihood of hire. So whether that's trying to find a postgraduate internship, a part-time job, volunteerism in the field, or maybe find that you need a particular skill set. Maybe you can take some low-cost online courses to teach yourself computer software or to learn enhanced graphic design skills, whatever it might be to enhance the likelihood of an employer looking at you as an applicant. So obviously those are just a few of the many things that we can talk about, but as a next step, as I mentioned, claim your account on Handshake if you haven't already. All students have an account set up with their BSU credentials, and you can of course call our office to set up an appointment for a resume review and a more in-depth and personalized job search strategies appointment by calling 508-531-1328. Thanks, and we look forward to working with you soon.